Welcome to Om Times TV, a division of Om Times Media and Broadcasting. We are living in the fifth dimensional consciousness where we are creating our reality faster than we can imagine. And 95% of our lives are run and created by our subconscious programming. Imagine how your life will be when that 95% subconscious programming is set to attract, manifest, and create everything you desire. Would you like help to change yours? Join Tamra Oviatt in Living in Fifth Dimensional Consciousness here on Om Times every week, where she will connect to the source energy and change your subconscious programming by deleting your negative belief systems. Tamra is the founder of Sacred Activations, a subconscious metaprogramming process that rewires your brain and shifts hundreds of your belief systems so you can break away from lack, pain, and suffering and take control of what you want to create in your life. Tamra has helped hundreds of thousands of people worldwide, and she is here to help you too. It's not about fighting what you don't want. It's about creating what you do want. And the only way to do that is to change and upgrade your subconscious programming. Let Tamra help you create magic in your world. Join her now for Living in the Fifth Dimensional Consciousness.
Hi, welcome to the show. I have an amazing, incredible guest with me today, Tareth. He's magical. That's all I can really say about him in the most powerful way. He's so magical. He had a near-death experience at 6 years old, and when he came home from the hospital, he was able to see auras and see spirits, and his mother helped him with that. So what a gift that at such a young age you started your spiritual journey, and the work you do now just totally blows me away. I had an opportunity to spend some time with you in Glastonbury, England. I think it was like 4 years ago. I went to an event that you were doing in Glastonbury, and in the event, there's this bowl of oil that's coming from a crystal, your crystal, and this oil is constantly regenerating itself, or adding more, should I say, and people were taking some home and using it. I want to know about that. Can you share that with me and how that started happening?
Yeah, I can, because, I mean, you saw it with the crystal.
Can you turn up your mic? You're a little low, honey.
Let me, how is that?
Much better.
That's good. Yes, I mean, the oil, as you saw in the bowl, but also I do in meditation, not all the time. Sometimes I do call it blessing from the source. People come up, I show my hands empty, I take the first hand and the oil appears, and then everyone comes up and gets them. So that oil is a manifested energy from the source to tell people there is really love and energy out there. And it started even when I was 6 years old. I didn't understand it, but when my mum was very encouraging, sometimes my hands just a little oil and scented for a little while, and then it stopped. But I started knowing quite young, but of course I had to grow up a bit first.
Yeah. So it actually manifests in your hand also. I didn't know that.
Yes, it can do. I do it. I've made a point, and this is an important thing for me. I knew I started, as I grew older, I started remembering that this was my work, and I remembered past lives, and I'd made a promise that I would do it occasionally, but never make myself one of these gurus who gets worshipped. That's not right.
I understand that. I started a show once called Not Your Guru. And one night in Glastonbury, I went out drinking and listening to music, Yeah. And I was partying down, and I went home. And at 3:00 that morning, Glastonbury time, I woke up and went live on Facebook. Thank God it was on a page I normally don't use. And I was saying, F you, I'm not your guru.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
People were calling my name, running up to me, and I freaked out. I stopped doing interviews. I kind of went into silence for a while, because that is definitely not a position I wanted to be in or feel like I deserved, and I don't like those people that are perceived as gurus because they're so egotistical.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They think they're so cool.
Yeah, I agree. When I first demonstrated this in public, which is a long time ago now, I was about 20, 21, 22, my first group, some of the people got on their knees. So I said, get up, we're all equal. And they were so happy.
Yeah.
We're all part of each other. And as I
Yeah.
said, I only ever did it maybe 3 or 4 times in a year. I did my teaching, but I didn't do it too much because then people expect it all the time.
Yeah.
And that's not what it's about. The real thing that is important to me is getting other people to realize how much they have in here and how much they brought with them and how much they can develop it and be really and unlock it. And it's amazing experiences they can have.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And in your events, so in your events, it's in a bowl and a crystal. So how does
Yeah,
that
no,
transfer from
can I
your
just
hand
say
to a
that
bowl?
was something then, but I no longer do that. I do in my events each year here and 2 other countries now. I've cut down my work a bit. I I do at the end of one of the workshops the part where people come up, somebody comes up first, everyone can see, they get oil in their hand, and then 2 or 3 people, and everyone receives some. But I will tell you this, I don't know if you know this, for many, many years I had a little statue of Merlin, the magician, who was bought for me by a friend. And for at least 25 years, oil kept appearing, so I've got bottles of it, and I take it to the workshops.
Wow. I think I saw that. So you had the merlin in the bowl. Was that it? I
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
remember.
the
Okay.
Merlin in the bowl. So it's actually, so I use that. But when I do the demonstration of the blessings from the source, just to show people that there really is a source out there, a bit like the spirit really exists. I do it very rarely, but the oil appears in my hand and I share it. But I don't get bowlfuls at the time, of course. The bowls I have are because of all those years of collecting it, and I've still got lots that I can use.
I want one.
I'd love to send you one, but strangely, the postal system here, not because of me, won't let you send any oil in the post in case it goes on fire.
Yeah, in Mexico here, I mean, to get it through the regular post,
Yeah.
I've had a couple people send me gifts and I've never received them.
Yeah,
So
I've tried it in the past and they won't let me do it. And
yeah,
it's very difficult, but there's no way around it really.
yeah, yeah.
It's a
Well, I'll
shame.
come to Glastonbury soon.
Come over, then you have to take it back, but you wouldn't get it back, would you?
Or you could bring it in my suitcase.
Yeah, that's true. You can, yeah, because I've taken bottles of the oil to Belgium and Denmark where I work, and they've got lots there when I go there, so I don't have to keep taking it.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm.
So what do you do in your work, in your workshops?
Well, what I do is I mean I'm obviously there's lots and lots of things. It varies and changes all the time. The underlying thing is I take people through processes to really wake up the source energy in them and all that wisdom they have. Not to, it doesn't. I don't lie to them. It doesn't solve every problem and make everything perfect. But
Yeah.
everyone's got this consciousness and past times knowledge, and I get them to develop it so they can use it in their life. And that's part of what I do. And the other part, because people have been coming for years, is we just celebrate it with lovely energies and meditation. It's part teaching and part celebration.
Yeah. Nice. Well, yeah, and redoing that, I'm sure every time they come, it's a
Yeah.
different experience for them.
Oh,
And
it is.
because it's
Yeah.
I mean, it's a spiral, how I
Yeah.
have found
Hmm. It's a different
spirituality.
experience every time, and there's always something new comes up. And also, we're living in a time of huge change. We're living in a time that I always talked about, where the vibrational energy of the subtle energy, the chakras, and all that is going up to another level. And I've been working with that, and will continue to do that with people to get them to be tuned into it.
Can you talk more about that, about the chakras and the levels and in the time we're in right now? Because that's
Yeah.
really what I'm all about, is helping people live in the now and to create heaven on earth.
I mean, the chakras are not really separate things. They're different vibrations as part of a oneness within that are a doorway to all the different aspects of our spirituality and the connections with the spirituality in the earth and in nature and the highest levels. So I always work with them as a oneness, but you work with different ones on different occasions. So But we're living in a time of change. The spiritual energy on this planet is going up to another level. It will take many, many generations before it gets to the highest level, but it's the beginning of a big change where there'll be much more understanding and peace and no doctrines anymore, just spirituality. So that's what it's about for me, and that's what I teach. So with the new energies coming through, I work. I don't just keep working with the chakras, but I include processes that take people into that higher energy and how they can develop it. And every time we meet, we develop it more. I mean, it's a never-ending process, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm absolutely. I mean, I see with my work, it's a spiral. You know, you get to the next level and then you get a new understanding of the
Yeah,
situation.
yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the things that I like people to realize, because the spiritual journey is not one that's got an end.
Yeah.
It goes on. We're eternal beings. We're not just a body. Therefore, it goes on. But there are cycles of time, like there is on the earth at the moment, where things are coming up to another level, and it will be very beautiful. So I believe this. You see, people say, what about all the bad things going on in the world? And we send love to them and light to them, and not all is good. But I always say this: if each person lights one candle in a dark place, it's better than doing nothing.
Well, and I think that's why we're spread around the world too.
Yeah, exactly. All around
Yeah.
the world, this is going on, and even when we're doing our things, and we're not talking to each other like this, we're all connecting
Yeah.
all of the time. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's eternal, and and I love, that's what I love about it. It's a big soul family.
Yes.
Mm,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So when you say that it'll take several generations to let go of dogma and then just be in that heaven on earth state, or what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, it won't. It's happening, but it won't all happen like in a few years. But it will get better and more people now. I mean, not in every country in the world.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not criticizing the churches, but what Jesus taught, I have past life memories of that time. What Jesus taught is almost nothing of what they teach in the churches now. It's completely taken. They've taken it into a doctrine, but we are approaching the place where the people would be more awake, and over generations we will lead to a soul family living on earth who are all part of each other. But it will take a while to get to that stage. But it's worth it. It's worth doing what we can to help it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would love for you to share with me your Jesus past life memories if there's anything you'd like to share about that.
Yeah, and I do respect everyone's belief, and I don't criticize anyone who sees things differently. And
Of
and I'm
course.
not the only person who's had this. What I remember, and I remembered it in my younger days, because Jesus, Buddha, people who are unknown now, Tahoe people, they're all part of the system of teaching. Jesus taught the same thing as most spiritual teachers: love each other, help each other, and raise your consciousness. There were as many women in that group as there were men, and the church mostly in the third century under Constantine, who became a Christian emperor, they wrote out the women because they wanted, it was all male dominated.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. There were men and women equally, and they did their work, and they met, and they took the word out. That's what the purpose was, the same as all the teachers, you know. And the doctrine that the church created in that time was absolutely rigid, because it says, and I've met people like this, and I don't argue with them, I respect them, who say you can never get to heaven, which is not really a place that way. You can never become, you know, up in the light unless you follow this dogma. Otherwise, you go to hell. And hell was invented by people. It's not in the Bible.
Yeah, I was taught that. And
Mm,
then so when I started being called to be a healer, I
mm.
didn't know what to do because,
No.
you know, I was taught that was Satan's work. And
Yeah.
and I kept being told I had to be a healer, I had to be a healer, I had to be a healer. I mean, I healed my cat at 18. You
No.
know, she was on death's door. She got better and I hid it, you
Yeah.
know. And
Oh yeah.
I knew all these things, but I wouldn't talk about them.
No. No. I mean, not happened to me for a very long time, but in my younger days, I lived in London, and on more than one occasion, when I was holding a group in a hall, I had some like Christadelphans who are fundamentalists outside the door with big banners saying, if you go in here, you will burn in hell.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
I just decided not to argue with them, because you can't debate with people who know they're right. And, you know, I don't tell people that. I do my work, I bring things through, but I don't say, I've got it all right and I know everything, because nobody
No, of
does.
course not.
Learning all the time.
Yeah.
Because this
Yeah.
thing,
Yep.
ego, you said, I must tell you one little story about that. It still happens. In
Please.
Glastonbury about 4 years ago, I saw a man putting posters up. He did look a bit like the Jesus we have in pictures, you know, he was dressed in the robe. And his posters were advertising a workshop, but it was titled, I am the one. And I thought, oh dear, luckily nobody went, so he went home again.
That's funny.
It's a shame when the ego does that to people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I told my mom, I don't know what year it was, I was going to do I was going away for 3 months to take theta healing. It
Yeah.
was a healing modality that I took. And she started screaming at me, Satan, get out of my daughter's body.
Wow.
And she yelled at me for 20 minutes. And I knew her belief system was that if I hung up on her, that means I had Satan in me because I couldn't hear the
Yeah.
word of God.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry.
I had to listen to that. And I was traumatized for years.
Yes, I'm not surprised. It's very
Yeah.
sad.
It was very traumatizing. And I really had to work through a lot of belief systems. And then in 2012, I received, you know, the gift of sacred activations
Yeah.
in Roslyn Chapel. And all this started happening. I was able to clear my belief systems out. But now my mom and I are very close.
Good.
We don't talk about what I do, but, you know, we got through all that. And she now accepts me and doesn't try to do exorcisms on me anymore.
Well, different, isn't it, how it affects us? I was lucky because my mum was so encouraging, right? But she wasn't really a drugs practitioner nor was my dad, but she encouraged me from the beginning because she was very spiritual, quite psychic, and she understood it.
Oh, that's so beautiful that you had that support system.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Because most of us don't.
No.
Most of us that are in this world, we're the black sheep, you know?
Agree. The only thing I had to learn quickly was don't talk about it at school, because I did at first, and the headmaster called my mummy and said maybe he needs to be seen by a psychologist. There's something wrong with him. So I stopped talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I hid myself for years and years.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are still in hiding. So what would you say to those people?
Well, I would say, you know, I understand it depends on your circumstances and where you are. But if you're living in a country that's got freedom of expression, and if you have these things, be who you are, but accept that you will get criticism and you won't get all compliments, but accept it and be who you are. You can't stop some people. And I got that all the time in my early days. I don't get it now. But even so, I just decided and I never get angry. You know, if I've had people say to me, oh, I say, I respect your belief. We're doing different things, and I move on. And that's the best way to handle it. Because if you start getting angry, it makes it worse.
No, if you start getting angry, then it's, you know, what in you do you need to heal about that, or you're not feeling good about it yourself?
I think, you know, if you really know you've got something in you, be it as much as you can and learn from it. You know, you can't please everybody, unfortunately. It's not, we don't live in a world yet where everyone is pleased all the time by lovely things. We have to wait for that one.
Yeah. Now, something that came up for me when you were talking about, you know, in the future, when I was in Cornwall, I think it was 2014 or 15, I went to St. Michael's Mount.
Yes.
And I was with a friend of mine that was on a walker. I don't know if you know her, Arwen. She lives in Glastonbury. You might know her. Actually, she's driven you into your house. You know her.
House, yes.
Yeah. So I was with her, and she couldn't go up to the castle because of her walker and the path and stuff. So I walked around the castle a little bit, and then I headed back. And when I got back into the room for the exit, the guard said, wait a minute, you didn't go in the church.
Wow.
I went, yeah, okay. So, you know, it's England. I've seen so many churches. I always go in church. And she goes, no. You have to go in the church. And she opens this back door that leads me right into the church.
That's crazy.
I went in the church, and I saw Archangel Michael appear, and he told me to sit
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
yeah, and in his church, right?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
sat down, and he told me, he says, "You will see world peace in your lifetime."
Mm, that's
And
good.
I believe that, and I got goosebumps right now, and
Mm,
that
I'm not
keeps
surprised.
me going because my whole thing is world peace,
Yeah,
and I
exactly. Mm,
and I was trying it all different ways, all the wrong ways. And,
mm,
I really came finally into the understanding is it comes through the individuals. We have to help the individuals heal and have peace inside
yeah,
so that we create the world we desire by
mm,
ourselves because we are the creators of this planet.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, we do. No, I agree, and we have to carry on doing it, whatever. It's so sad, isn't it, when someone says you have to go into the church? I mean, they're programmed, and I'm sorry for them, but I don't. That's not what it's about.
Well, I think that was a spiritual message that I had to go visit that church to get that message from Archangel Michael,
For you, it was actually exactly right. You went there, and look what you got. Amazing, isn't it? You got exactly what you needed.
I got exactly what I needed.
Nice.
Exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I meant to tell you is going back to those memories of Jesus. He had a wonderful sense of humour. He
Oh,
laughed. He laughed a lot. He had a great sense of humour. He did laugh a lot. He was a
oh,
really
Jesus.
yeah, yeah. And so
Oh,
did
yeah.
they. They all laughed. They did serious things, but they had humour. They laughed. They
Yeah.
enjoyed life,
Yeah.
and
I
that's
have memories of that life too.
yeah, that's what it should be like.
Yeah. I wonder if, and this is kind of the conclusion I came to, that there's programs that are available to us when we come onto this planet.
Hmm.
And that we have programs of different past lives, and some people have programs of the same past life.
Hmm.
Um, because I had the showing that I was Mary Magdalene, and I couldn't deal with that. And then I know a lot of other people that say they live that life too.
Hmm.
So, and I've seen it a lot. I mean, Lord Metatron's brought me into past lives and different things and showed me different things. And then I've read books about it, and it didn't line up with the life I experienced as
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So I'm wondering, what do you think? What is your thought on that? Is there like different people with that same memory, that same lifetime? How do you explain that? Do you have any idea?
Well, there are two things about that. Let's take the basic thing. If you take reincarnation, if you are born as one person and you go back and you come back again, there's no room for a bigger population because you'll be over and over. So, what we are, our consciousness is multidimensional. So, part of what our past memory is as an individual is there, but also we are multidimensional and we have other energies that we pick up from those past times. So, actually, the real value of past life is not necessarily who we were, but what we can bring and the knowledge from the different levels of consciousness. It's
Right.
complex, but it's much more important than just saying I was this, because what we bring, and I do this with people, I say part of my work is bringing up these energies they have from past, but not, oh, I was this, I was that, but what does it hold that you can develop in the now that we can put out into the world?
Right, right. Well, that was the only way I could deal with that past life is that
Yeah,
it's a program and a lot of people have that same program.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's not just one person. It's not just an incarnation of a soul into a body. We are multidimensional, so we connect to different things,
Right.
different levels. And whatever is appropriate for people is there. But everybody, that's why I like doing development work. Everybody can tune in to this energy, and it's not
Yeah.
always that fact, but get the feeling, get the energy to come through.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I have so many more questions for you, but it's time for a break. So we're going to go ahead and take a little break. And then we
Okay.
come back, we'll
Oh,
continue. Time just goes so fast. So we'll be right back,
how long
everybody.
is the break?
It's like a minute and a half.
Okay, but we stay on the computer. I haven't got to go. I haven't got to log in again.
No, no,
Okay,
you don't have to log in again.
I'll be right back. Just a little something I need to do.
Okay, perfect. See you in a minute.
Om Times TV. Imagine becoming a super influencer. Reinvent yourself, invest in your brand, and then manifest your success with a robust spheric approach. Om Times Media and Broadcasting offers a unique and multifaceted way to become the spiritual and conscious influencer you deserve to be by putting your message across our powerful platform with its proven record of integrity and excellence. Through our produced shows, Om Times offers the opportunity to become a social media TV personality, a radio show host, an Om Times magazine columnist, and a syndicated podcaster, all in one shot. By live streaming your show on Om Times TV and broadcasting it across the extensive Om Times radio and TV networks, you become more than a host. You become an ambassador and a force for positive change. Om Times. Open yourself to the possibilities. Do you want to go deeper into sacred activations, which is a subconscious metaprogramming process? Tamra Oviatt is inviting you to visit her website at tamraoviatt.com to sign up and get lifetime access to free 7 activations that you can listen to anytime you want or as often as you need. If you like what Tamra does and like to incorporate sacred activations into your life, she also offers live webinars, masterclasses, and practitioners training to further support your healing, manifestations, and expansion. There are hundreds of activations on her website that address different aspects of your life: money, health, relationships, intuitive abilities, and more. Head over to her website at tamraoviatt.com and experience the magic of sacred activations. Thank you for listening.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
I come forward again. I can't hear you, Tamra. I can't hear you.
Welcome back.
Oh, you're back now. Yeah, I've got you.
Thank you. Welcome back with my guest, Tareth. Thank you so much for coming back. I'm so excited to have you here. I wish I could have you on weekly because you're so fascinating. So hopefully we'll be able to do this again soon. Thank you. I want to ask you about, Wesley was telling me about this time he was in France with you.
Yes.
And you guys were doing this event and you put your hand over the earth and a crystal came out from the earth. Can you share that story with us?
I can. The origin of this, something on my screen has come up, says private chat, and it's in the way a bit, and I would type a message.
Oh, you can, okay. Yeah, you can just click on it and it'll go away.
It doesn't, but I don't worry about it. It'll be all right.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember in my earlier life doing this work, because I meditate and I get information from my work, not every day, but did it. But I remembered a past time where we took a crystal, because crystals are very powerful energy bringers. They connect to a whole grid of crystalline energy of the earth, and they're very important. We worked with a crystal on more than one lifetime, and then there came a point where it was transported into the earth as an energy, and there would be a time when it would come back, and I didn't know that. But anyway, I suddenly got a message to say the crystal will return. I got told exactly how to do it. I got, because I was working with people, and we built up energies, and we we were guided to a place not too far from Glastonbury, and because Glastonbury is an ancient spiritual place as well.
Yeah.
Lots of work. And and it was amazing. Even I was amazed, because we did the ceremony with the thing, and the ground opened up, the crystal came out, and it was there for us to work with for a time, to really bring new energies into the work that we were doing, and it was just a wonderful moment. It's not. So even crystals can reincarnate.
Wow. Is that because I did a private session with you once and you said the crystal wanted to work with me and you pointed it to me and it started humming?
Yes, I know. The one thing I don't do this now, but over some years, and I've got a big collection of them that I use in my work. I'm a bit careful. I copyrighted them because I had some work stolen years ago by people who didn't tell me they were going to do it. So I had to copy. But I have done over the years, with witnesses present, different energy sounds from crystals and from earth and from spirit that I use in my work because it talks to the deep part of the mind.
Yeah, I mean, I was blown away. The crystal was humming.
Oh yeah, well I've got lots of different sounds that have come from different energies. I use crystals to manifest them, and then I've got a library of them that I use in my teachings, and I don't get new ones anymore. I don't need to, but the point is I use them because they speak. Everything is sound. Our whole mind and body, physically and subtly, vibrates. It's got its subtle sound. Every tree, every leaf. So when I use the sound in meditation, what it does, it takes people's consciousness into a much deeper place of that energy and the source and the spirit and the light beings, as I call them, and it helps them make nice contact with them. So I love doing those, working with those sounds. I work with them most of the time.
I've never met more of a magical person than you. I know people that can do a lot of processes, but you are magical. I mean, and I'm not trying to treat you like a guru.
No, I know you wouldn't. No. Well, I feel very honoured to have done what I've done and still do what I do. And, like you were saying, the other thing I had to learn as a younger person, and I'm sure what you were saying earlier, I've had to learn, you bring the people around you, they come, they're not followers, I have people who teach with me, but the people who come are all equal. But you have to accept you're going to get a lot of criticism and you do it anyway.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So today, I mean, a lot of people are scared. There's a lot of scary stuff going on in the world. What kind of message would you like to share with them to help them feel better with what time we're in and what's going on?
I know it is scary and there's a lot of things. I understand that. I mean, first of all, don't be ashamed of feeling scary because it's human, it's natural. Don't think. But what I recommend to people is, in a very simple way. First of all, two things. First of all, just remember there are huge amounts of good things going on in the world, and none of the media ever talk about it.
Yeah,
it's there. It's not gone, and that helps. But on a personal level, this comes down to a very simple thing. I think put time aside each day. You don't have to meditate for hours. I mean, I meditate every day, twice a day, because I've done it most of my life. But take time. We're all part of the light. And morning and evening, and especially the night time, if you're feeling, well, when you're feeling fear, close your eyes. The light is always with you, and it's there. And just say, let the light flow through me and ease away the fears. And if you do it regularly, you get good at it. It's that simple.
Is there a process you would like to do right now? Is there?
Well, I mean, that is the process. That's the one I use in a simple way. I mean, I'm always honest. It doesn't mean you will never feel fear again. It means you've got a very simple thing you can do so it doesn't keep taking over. And also, look at the good things that are going on around you. Don't forget them.
Yeah. Don't pay attention to the negative stuff. Just focus on the good stuff.
Go
ahead.
No, look on the good things as well, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the world's a lot better than it was in 2012.
I agree. Yeah, a lot better. Just because there are things going on doesn't mean there are a lot of good things going on, because there are.
Yeah.
But the media doesn't want to know about them. They only want to report bad news. They should start telling people good things as well. One day, I hope it happens. It would be so nice.
I think we'll get that switch. I think we'll have the critical mass switch and everything starts switching over to that.
But if everybody is saying, if you take up daily practice, remember, inside you, like everyone, you are the light of the source of unconditional love. You could think of it as your heart, if you like, chakra, but It's everywhere. Breathe it through your whole body and mind as if you are flashing out the fear patterns and letting them go.
Perfect. Yeah. So just everybody just close your eyes. Imagine you have the light within you and just breathe it in and out. And you are the light. You are that temple.
You are the light. And breathe it and let the fears go away and find some peace, because that's good. And, do it as a daily practice, because we're human. We can't sort of put a big wall up that says it never gets in, because we have to live in the world.
Yeah.
And it's important that helps. And I think it's a great way to do it. Do it whenever you feel you need to,
Yeah.
That's the best.
Even if it's just for a couple seconds in a grocery store, if you're feeling fear, just close your eyes for just a couple seconds and take a nice breath.
And after a while, it becomes better. You don't need to do it so often, because it just happens.
Yeah.
That's the best way. Oh, it's lovely. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing to do.
That's beautiful. So do you have any events coming up or anything you would like to talk about, or what are you doing now?
At the moment, I cut my work down a lot. I'm 75 years old now, although I don't think, but I feel very young. But I mean, what I have, so what I do, I used to travel around the world. I worked in America, I worked in South America, but now I work here, Belgium and Denmark. So I have like 4 workshops a year, weekend in each place, and I do one-to-one healings occasionally, and I do a little online stuff. So I've got it down to that minimum, because that suits my life. And yes, I mean, at the end of this month, I'm in Belgium doing a weekend, and then back in Glastonbury the end of November, a weekend, before the year quietens down a little bit.
Okay. And what website do they go to find out more about you?
This is the thing. My website has gone into an awful mess, and a good friend of mine, when he gets time, it'll be October, because he's busy. He's going to revamp the whole thing. I can't even get dates put on it now. I mean, but this is what, if anyone goes to my website, like put in Tareth UK, and it comes up as a website. If anyone wants to know about anything, there's an email on there. Send me an email, and I'll send you the details.
Okay, so
tareth.uk, and my website comes up. Because it's got to be revamped, it's not working properly, but there is an email on there. Send me an email saying, can you tell me what things you're doing and where, and I'll send an email back and tell them.
Okay, yeah, if you're in Europe and you have an opportunity, definitely go spend some time with him.
Yeah, because in the end, the website will have all the details on it when it's been fixed, but I can message people. They just got to send them out. It's very easy.
Okay, all right, perfect. All right, what else would you like to share today?
I'm just trying to think, really. What I've shared a lot. I like sharing it. I think only. Let me just have a moment. Let me see.
Yes.
Yes, I think the other thing that is important, and I work with it, is in everybody. We're human beings. But we're all everything of humanity. And one of the things that's growing in here is the equality of the feminine energy to man, and that's so good. It's not everywhere in the world. It needs a big jump, but it's growing so much, and that's been always a message I've tried to say. Everybody's got everything in them, and whether they're male, female, transgender, I don't mind. I'm not, but the equality of women and men on the earth, and the spiritual energy that's bringing that, is growing, and it will take over, and it'll be so much better. The world will be a much better place to live in.
Yeah, when we balance out.
When it's balanced properly, because it's still not, even in countries like England, where there's a freedom to be who you are, and I won't go into the details about politics. It's like a big joke at the moment, but the point is, more women at that level, and we're getting more, will make a difference, because we need that equality. And it's growing, and I'm so grateful.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's a very big thing, and I really, really am so happy that it's happening. And I always thought, we know it's going to happen, and there are people who still resist it, and some parts of the world are still completely dominated, but they'll fade in the end. But where we can actually make that message go out, because femininity and masculinity is in everything.
Yeah.
And when it becomes more equal within, it becomes more equal in society. So that's something that I think is very important, and I love the fact that it's growing.
Yeah, when I was growing up, I thought the guys had it much better than the women.
Yeah. Mm.
So, and then when I was a single parent, I was a lot in my male energy to
Mm.
raise my kids, and it was difficult. I mean, because had a career, I was managing a household, I was managing the kids,
Mm.
and so I went into that male energy a lot, and it was exhausting. And I
Yeah.
mean, finally, you know, I'm balancing that male female energy, and it
Good.
took me a long time to do that.
Yeah. And it's good. And every man and every woman that balances it means the balance in society will be more equal, and women will get equal ways to help the country, which they should do.
Yeah,
And that's how it should be. You know.
yeah,
I mean, it took, although I don't follow the church here in that way, I've got respect for them, but it's only in the last few years that in the Church of England that women can get ordained. They weren't allowed to,
wow,
but they are now. But the Catholic Church doesn't allow them.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
you know, all of that's got to fade away, but lovingly and gently. Not by
Yeah,
nasty. So, but it's certainly here in England, I see so much more that the women in society are in a proper place now, much more than they used to be, and that's such a great thing to see.
yeah, that's really good.
Mm.
Yeah, I know a
Mm.
lot more women are speaking out and
Yeah,
are healers and are out there
yeah,
making a difference now, which is really nice to see.
I know, I know. Oh, sorry, that's my phone, but I didn't realise it was happening. But I'll mobile, but I'll switch it off and they'll leave a message.
Okay,
I forgot
so
it was in here. I'll put it on silent. No, I think it is. It's really changing, and it will change, and it's so needed.
yeah, yeah, I'm getting married this weekend on Saturday.
Oh, bless you! Congratulations.
Thank you. And we're talking about vows, and so Mike was looking up vows from like 1950s, and
Yeah.
it's like the woman will obey. She'll
Oh, I
have
know.
dinner ready when her husband gets
I
home.
know.
She'll have a cheery face, and don't get mad if he stays out all night. He's worked real hard. It's okay. Don't
Yeah,
question him.
I know. That's how it used to be. I can remember that in weddings. It's not done here now, but I love, honor, and obey.
Yeah,
That's what the woman had to say. I obey. It's gone now.
yeah,
They don't say it in the ceremonies here now anymore.
yeah. Because we're looking. It's like, what are our vows? What do we do?
I know. Yeah, yeah. It's
So
so
we're just
good. It's so good. It's changing because it's a terrible way of getting into a relationship. You have to. The woman has to obey the man, and that's how it was.
yeah,
Even when I grew up, my mum and dad weren't like that, but there were families like that.
yeah,
The man said what you can do.
yeah. My family didn't grow up that way,
No,
but
no, I'm lucky for that. I didn't get that one. That was nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I
That's
remember
I
when I
often
was,
say as I often say to them, the lovely saying that I heard, just a joke saying, when when God made man, she was only joking.
yeah, yeah. I love that because I
Uh,
definitely think we're definitely equal, and of course, and that we all have so much to say about this, and we're all in this together. I
mm,
mean, this isn't a man or a woman world. This is a soul world, and we're coming in together on that.
absolutely, that's what it is, and that's great. It's growing more and more, and it will.
Yeah,
I'm looking
yeah.
forward to it. Yes, it's
Yeah,
wonderful.
me too. I'm excited. I think the energy's gotten so different on the planet in the last 10 years.
Yeah,
Huge shifts, huge,
mm,
huge shifts. It's easier to say things. It's easier to show up. I really see us going into world peace, and I'm really excited about that.
yeah, me too. I agree. It's so much easier. So we're on that path, and that's so lovely to know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm not in fear of the future or anything
no, no.
or what's going to happen, which is really nice.
Just keep putting out the light and doing what we can.
Exactly.
That's what
Exactly.
we
Exactly. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I hope you'll come on again. I think you're fascinating, and I know we have lots to talk about.
We'll have a chat and sort something out in the future.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Take care. Bless you.
You too. Thank
Take
you.
care.
Hi, everybody. So Tareth is absolutely amazing, incredible, as you saw, man. And if you're in Europe, definitely go visit him, go check him out, sign up on his website. I want to do a couple activations for you. Like I promised at the end of every show, I wanted to let you know that we just did the Empowered Healers first class, totally free for the first class. Sign up on my website to get those replays. It's all about helping you show up, helping you help people, and also to help you make money while you're doing it. It's all about empowered healers. You don't have to be a sacred activation practitioner to do this class. This class is for everybody, whatever modality you're doing or however you are showing up in the world. This is for you. So check that out. So I invite you to go into your heart. I want to just clear fear of the future, fear of other people dying, and fear of being alone. Those are the activations I want to run for you today. I connect to source energy. The only thing you have to do is go into your heart. You might feel something, you might not. You might get emotional after this, or even a couple days later. It's just the process of these energies leaving, and they don't come back when they're gone. So I invite you to go into your heart. Fear of the future. Fear of people dying. And fear of being alone. Whatever that brings up for you. So allowing that energy to clear whatever fears you have around the future, around other people. Okay. Imagine you can bring your energy into Mother Earth, connecting into Mother Earth's energy. If you can imagine, you go all the way into Mother Earth's heart chakra. Connecting and balancing. Feeling that love and that light coming in through every single cell of your body. Feeling the peace, joy, and happiness flow through every single cell. Just taking a nice big deep breath. And when you're ready, open your eyes. These activations I did for you today will continue working with you for days, weeks, even months, clearing out all those belief systems so that you can feel at peace on whatever's going on with you in the world and whatever's going on around you. I want to thank you so much for joining me today and my guest. He's truly magical. I just really love him. And I'm not sure who we have scheduled for next week, but I know it's amazing. We have some amazing guests coming up, so I'm really excited about that. And I look forward to seeing you again soon and sending you lots and lots of love. Having an absolutely amazing week. Thank you.
Choices for you, it seems.